Hello, I'm Nicolas Echaniz from Altermundi. I'm also the current chair of the CNC, the Community Network Special Interest Group. I wrote the local content thematic chapter in the APC Geeks Watch book this year. We were particularly interested in this chapter because we thought it was directly connected to the concept of the co-creation of the internet that we have been trying to push forward in the discussion, in the global discussion for some time now. We consider that our movement in general has been too much talking about access, and this makes it difficult to differentiate our work, our struggles from that of corporations, of certain governments that are always talking about access. And we think it's not the same what they are saying and what we are saying, so it's a problem to use the same words. And that's why we decided to make our chapter on local content revolve around this concept. The concept of co-creation of the internet involves, of course, not just the access, but also how the people can share their culture, can share their own content or services in the network. And this of course poses very different challenges, like for example mobile 3G network can never be considered a co-creation enabling network, whereas it can be considered an access network. And we from the community networks movement are always working on this enabling environment that has to do with sharing our culture, sharing our local content. And also in this chapter we try to identify some of the trends that have been going on local content in community networks over time. We started with community networks like 15 years ago, and there have been different trends, and also the global scenario has changed quite a bit, so there's much more concentration nowadays on the internet, and some of the peer-to-peer technologies that were more frequently used in the past, like for example XMPP or Jabber for chat, are now almost dead. Like it's hackers or geeks that some hackers or geeks that use it, and everybody else is using concentrated services. And another interesting thing that happened is that we used to have lots of peer-to-peer file sharing or content sharing technologies which were perfectly adapted for our computers, which was the device we were all using at the time. But nowadays, even in our community networks, people are mostly using mobile devices. And mobile devices, of course, impose limitations, which some of them we cannot overcome. And this changes the paradigm for us, because there's software that we have already developed that makes sense in a computer world but doesn't make sense in a mobile devices world. So this is a challenge we need to address today. And we end our chapter talking about the decentralized repository of culture, which now has a name, which is El Repollo, and we are trying in this project to target this issue I was talking about earlier. How do we share local content in a peer-to-peer way in this new scenario, in this new context that we have with the current internet? And especially considering the possibilities of our community networks. So I hope you enjoy the chapter and let us know.